Well, hey there, YouTube, fellow silver stackers, silver pours, silver enthusiasts. AG Ender with you here again real quick. Add on to the how-to series, maybe go and repeat what I did before, but I'm going to do just the dish prep, as I've seen a couple people asking more questions about dish prep, and I'm just going to show what I do in the way of using these silica melt dishes. I've only had one or two that have been bad. I actually had one come broken the other day, and got in touch with the eBay seller, and they've got one on the way back. Granted, it's from China, so it's going to take a little while, but for right now, I'll show you here what I do to prep a dish. And I'm just going to use propane here since I don't want to use up the MAPP gas, being a little more expensive. Well, first thing I do is just start getting the dish hot. You want it a little hot. You want to see it to start glow where you want to put the flux or borax first, which doesn't take very long. The middle here, it's already starting to glow a little bit. It's a little dark, but I'm going to turn the light off and see if that helps. Yeah, that was going to end up being too dark for me to work. Let's see if that helps. Get rid of one light there, yeah. And you can see it glowing nice and red there in the middle. So that's where I'm going to start off. I'm going to do a good pinch here. I do have a smaller dish. This is only the I think the 150 gram dish. So it is a small dish. I pull the flame away a little bit so I don't blow out all the flux and borax that I just put in. And you see how it melts there, kind of in little beads. So I'll put the heat back on. I'll add a little bit more. Try and get myself a nice pool there in the bottom. So then once I get it heated up, I can swish it around and coat the inside of the dish. And if you have too much, it's not really an issue since you can just pour it out. Since you really want to get the spout done well too, it helps that you have a little bit extra and you can pour it out the dish, and that gets that coated nice and well. So you can see the pool there I'm starting to get. Get that nice and hot here. Turn up my heat just a little bit. I don't know, it's not real easy to see, so I'll try and go in bits where I take the flame out. But I try to pick a side, whichever side you want to start on. Heat it up and let it kind of pour down, pour down. You're going to see it's starting to work its way down. So you'll see it start to coat the dish. Of course, hold it over something in case you drip out, but as it gets to the edge, just kind of rotate around. If you need to, don't be afraid to add some more. Like I said, I probably put too much in, but you can always heat it up and pour it out. Well, this should at least be enough to get a good half to 2/3 of it coated. You see now I've got a real good pool accumulating here. I try and go back and forth and just get one area at a time, so you can see how much I've got done there. Of course, switch hands, so it makes the angle easier. I wish I could show this better where the flame is. So you see there, that little bit that I had flowing toward the edge, toward the rim. And when it comes to the rim, we'll get to that in a minute, but that I just heat up the rim slowly, put a little bit on, and then move around to a different part and just kind of work it in. So I'll try and heat everything up and get it to flow to where it's not quite covered yet. You see the edge there, this top edge between these two prongs isn't quite covered. So what I'll do, I'll add another pinch right to that spot. And heat it up and let it melt down and then flow into that spot. And we've almost got it covered there. There we go. Got that covered, you can see there. You kind of see the glare from the light on it where it's still liquid. That glare somewhat stays, at least at the beginning, until you start melting silver in there. So it's starting to soak in a bit. So we'll add another good sized pinch here. Heat that all up kind of slowly, like I said, so you don't blow it around. I know there are other people, they actually put the borax in water first so it doesn't blow around. You evaporate all the water and the borax just does its thing, but I've never tried that, so I don't have any advice on that method. So once you put in the extra borax or more, just keep moving the flame around until it all kind of melds into one, and then you can start moving your dish around again once you start seeing it cool up to where you can make it flow and move where you want it to. So you can see there how much is getting coated now, about 2/3 almost now. So not quite switch hands. It's easier still with my right hand this way. And sometimes too much borax once you start pouring the silver is a little rough because you end up with spots on top of the finished piece. A lot of those polish out or tumble out if you have a tumbler. You see that leading edge there starting to flow in. And keep filling up where it's not melted yet. Angle this if I can kind of down, and then add another good pinch in there. Try and get some of the side too, since I did put some of the pinch I put on the side. You will get some silver that ends up on the side of the dish that you can usually reflame and get back. Well, we've got a good puddle in there now, so try and work that into the spout. You can see there, that dark spot in the middle where the borax hasn't filled in yet. Now it's filled it in and starting to go into the spout. Get that spout nice and coated, you can see that now. And then work the fluid borax around a bit. Add a little bit more if you need to. And I'm almost done with this dish. So just kind of heat that up in there. Till it all kind of forms into one blob, and then you can move it around some more, evenly coat everything. You see there's one little dark spot there where it hasn't quite filled in. You see we're starting to fill that in now. Now it's all filled in, so I kind of usually I'll go around it some more and just even everything out, make sure it's nice and baked in. And I can find edges usually where I haven't quite gotten enough, so I'll add another pinch here or there. Make sure I get enough up here on the spout. If any rim or edge of the dish you want to get is that leading edge where you're going to do all your pouring from. Make sure you get that nice and coated. And again, if you get too much in there from this stage, you can always just pour it out. It just makes little glass beads. So just kind of make sure everything's nice and coated. If there's no more bits that are sticking up where it looks rough if you were to run your finger over it, which you don't want to do. It's going to be really hot, of course. So this disc is pretty much done. A couple more pinches here on this rim. And another pinch on the rest of this rim here. It was a little bit longer video than I anticipated, so I apologize for that, but hopefully this helps those having trouble. Well, you can kind of see, get the light back on. You can see now what it kind of looks like in there. It's not quite all fluid. So we'll get that all fluid again, make sure it's all nice and coated. Nice shiny layer all the way around. And that's how we do it. Like I said, you may have too much in there, so in the first couple of pours, it could be a little awkward, but you can usually work with that and get it out. Once you get the hang of it, you can switch the silver around and kind of work those beads off the top of it before you pour. But that should pretty much do it. Try and get these edges a little bit cleaner. Only got a little bit too much in the spout here, so I'll heat that up specifically. Try and get a little bit to drip out. You kind of see it right on the lip there. And there we go. Oh, I know I've got a little bit too much in here, but not too bad. So there you go. That's my method for prepping a dish and getting it nice and coated in borax there. So take that as you will. Hopefully that helps somebody. Thank you for stopping by. I will catch you next time. A.G. Enders signing off. Have a good night.